Good luck.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Super Deluxe Game.
Well, we lost John again.
We lost Thursday, John. July 28th. No, I'm here. I'm right here.
I know. How am I the
anywhere.
one in the middle of severe thunderstorms, and you're the one whose internet keeps crapping out?
I know, but Derek, it's not. My internet is great right now. My internet is the fucking shit right now, dude. So whatever is happening must be on your end. I'm gonna blame you for it. What's going on, everyone? It's it's Thursday night again, and you know what that means. Look at the fucking chat. A chat is filling up. As a small to medium-sized podcast, it is so cool to see so many people in our chat right now. So welcome everyone. For first-time viewers, we are so glad you're here. And speaking of people that we are glad are here, check out who our guest is today. Gothalion has joined us. What's up, dude? I've been following your content for a long time, and so having you here is extremely fucking cool for me. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on, man.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, man. You reached out. Fuck, what was it? I could say fuck, right?
Oh, dude, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Go wild. All right, good. So you reached out in I think it was like May, and I was like, just put a pin in that for like a few weeks. Let's put a pin in that. I think John knew that I was coming back to Twitch back in May.
I did.
You were like on the short list of folks who knew.
I am honored by that that you chose to trust me with this information. No, and I was actually turned on to your content because I used to be a big Destiny guy, and I'm really not anymore. I haven't played it in a long time.
Right.
But
how much of that was your skill level though?
I'm terrible at Destiny. Come on, I was fucking awful at it. But I actually became tuned into your content when you had your world's first in the King's Fall raid.
Sure.
And which was that was really cool. I remember your reaction because that was the first time you guys had a world first, right?
That was second raid. So we were seventh for VOG, Vault of Glass, first raid. No, there was a third raid because there was Crota's End, but it's like
Crota's
End, barely a raid.
Yeah. Justin is our big Destiny guy here now. So
yeah, okay, yeah.
But King's Fall took me 10 hours opening weekend, so you finished before I did.
Well, I finished before everybody did.
Yeah.
By the way,
I swear that's not in the norm for me. That's a cum joke.
You're in good company here. I want to say to people in chat real quick, for new viewers, if you want to give us some feedback right there, you can. There's a little link right underneath your little video window there if you want to let us know how you're doing. And if you want to shoot us a follow, I'm not going to tell you shouldn't. Feel free, go wild.
I'm here to tell you shouldn't. That's a bad fucking idea.
Well, hold on, man. We got to keep the audience for the entire podcast.
Hey, sometimes people just have low standards, and that's why they're here. So it works out great.
That's why the whole podcast exists, Finn. So, dude, since I was kind of turned on to your content around the King's Fall raid, how long have you actually been streaming? How long have you been a content creator?
Like at this juncture? Like right now, currently?
Yeah.
This will be 9 years in September.
What made you want to get into this, man? Because I
don't know. I started out doing moderator shit on the Gearbox forums because I liked Borderlands. I was like a moderator on their official forums, and then I started making YouTube videos for dumb gameplay things, and that sort of started taking off because the people on the forums were this is great. So you'd get a couple hundred views, and a couple hundred turns into a couple thousand, and then I transitioned from VOD content to live, and I was like, this is more me. I get to be in my element, be in the moment. There was a long time I did I think it was 3 or 4 years where I didn't miss a single day uploading, and now I could sit down and make a video and be like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to do this. I don't love editing anymore. I used to, but now it's the live portion of it really calls to me a lot more.
Dude, that's awesome. And that's kind of what we try to do here. Although I'd say, Derek, our biggest outlet for people is the apps, right? Spotify and SoundCloud.
Oh well, yeah. That's what's funny is for the longest time, we thought, oh, well, we're, a very small streaming outfit. And then we finally started paying attention to the actual podcast numbers. And oops, turns out we're surprisingly large for a podcast. It just,
Yeah,
I don't know.
You never know. You never know, like which piece of wet spaghetti is going to stick to the wall. So
it's a good way to put it.
When people ask me, like, "Hey, how do I get started in content creation?" I'm just like, "Fucking throw it at everything." You never know. Wet spaghetti method. Something's going to stick, and that's what you go with. That's the piece.
I think our best content comes from me embarrassing myself live.
Sure. I think that's most creators. So.
That's what I find works the best. So out of curiosity, you started with Borderlands. You really, I think, kind of became. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. You really kind of blew up with Destiny, right? Like Destiny.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. I think when we went to Destiny, I'd paid attention to it, and obviously, before Destiny, I think we had on Twitch like 80,000 followers from Borderlands content, something like that. I'm sure I could look back on the Social Blade and be more accurate. And Destiny, we averaged 1,000 new followers a day for a year and a half.
Man, I'd love to get some of that action.
Yeah, it was fucking wild.
Shit, dude.
I was just like, we were just in a directory. We were like mid-range in a directory, and I found an exotic weapon on like day 2, which is like in Destiny 1, finding an exotic was like, that was special. And
I remember that. Yeah.
Did you ever icebreaker? It was a fucking icebreaker, which was arguably one of the best exotics in Destiny 1, period, full stop.
Yeah.
So that was wild. And then I put my title, I was like, exotic weapon found, like this, because what you do. And then it just fucking, it just snowballed from there, dude. I found myself, like, the chat filled up, several thousand people, blew my mind. I think I had like 10,000 concurrents, like the second day of Destiny, and I had like 80,000 followers at the time, whatever. And it just from that moment, it was just like vibes, like day 2, I was just like playing music and dancing with my Guardian and shit, just doing dumb stuff, like, cause that's my whole shtick. And just kind of went from there. It kind of caught on.
Did you ever partake in the loot cave?
I was gonna ask that too. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. You have to. You got to check out whatever the latest cheese is. If you're streaming an MMO, like, you kind of at least got to check it out.
So my story about like the first exotic that I ever got in Destiny 1 is really funny because it was again, this was back early on. This was like the fall it came out, just a few weeks after it came out. And there was this group that took me through my first Nightfall. I hadn't been able to get grouped together, and I got Hawkmoon at the end of it. And then they took me, they got a group together and took me through my first raid that same night, and I got Hawkmoon again. And there was a guy that was in the group that was so mad. I think he just unplugged his internet while he was yelling at me.
Oh, that's salty, man.
Yeah, it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. I love it.
I mean, Hawkmoon was a fantastic exotic, and it was, it was like at that point PlayStation exclusive. So
yeah, like that thing has been with me the whole way through. But honestly, I missed out on getting the actual collectible of it when they added it to Destiny 2. So I'm bummed about that. I don't have the little mini Hawkmoon, but
do you know what would honestly bring me back to Destiny 2 right now is if they said, okay, we're bringing the Zalo back. Like
Supercell?
If they brought the Supercell back,
I
fucking
the Risk Runner is like kind of similar. I think it's like I think it's stronger for ad clear because like the lightning chain's more, and you get like a little arc shield. But it doesn't have like the supercharge that the Zalo had. That was like really addictive.
So let me ask you this then. If I wanted to jump, like, if I ever kind of got the urge to jump back into Destiny 2, like I played for Forsaken.
Sure.
And that's where and after that is kind of where I dropped off. Right. I got into other things. How difficult would it be for me to jump back in?
It's not. I mean, Destiny is an incredibly casual game. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's like mega competitive. I think people make it seem like it's deeper than it is. I don't think it's too tough to jump into it all. Like for a fresh person, they bring everybody's power up every major expansion to whatever they raise the floor. You know,
that's cool.
I think it's really easy to level up, which is like part good, part bad. You know, like it's really easy for new players and returning players to get in, but for veteran players, it's like such a drip feed of like power growth and like what do you do now? You know, so it's like a very good business model for Bungie, but then guys like me are kind of left twiddling their thumbs a lot of the time.
Yeah. So and speaking of that, like you've been kind of filling the time with No Man's Sky.
It's not a fill the time. There was a major, maybe not major, but there was a core Destiny moment that happened alongside No Man's Sky maybe getting an update, and I chose No Man's Sky because I love this game. Yeah, I'm actually playing it right now on my screen. I gotta tend to my new settlement. Very important. I love No Man's Sky, dude. No Man's Sky is not just a noun; it's a verb now in the gaming industry. It's like if there's a shit game, people are like, do you think they can No Man's Sky it?
You know, it's interesting you say that because we've talked on this podcast before about the similarities between like Final Fantasy 14 Online and No Man's Sky, in that they both launched with less than great reception.
Sure.
And both of those games have had such a turnaround.
Yeah, similar to like Rainbow Six Siege, just the commitment to making these games as a service games better over time.
Mm-hmm. I deeply wish we had the phrase early access as part of the common gaming vocabulary at the time that No Man's Sky launched, because I think that team would have avoided so much like confusion and miscommunication, and also could have cut off so much abuse if just that.
I think Sony fucked them though.
Oh, for sure. They were not prepared. That little team was not prepared for that big of a magnifying glass on them, and that can't be their fault.
They also got hit by a flood. I think it was like 2 Christmases before they launched. They lost like a couple years of progress on their product.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I didn't know that at all.
The Hello Games flood, the Christmas flood. Look it up. It's crazy.
I did not know that.
And they kept the same deadline. And you know, I don't think they'll ever say it, but I think that Sony was like, release your product by the deadline, or it's gonna be bad for you, you know, because I know how Sony does business. Like, it's no secret that they are just like business. So like, I think getting that done, there was like no extra money, there was no extra time. Get your thing out, or it's gonna be bad for your studio. So it's like a rock and a hard place for Hello Games at that point, because they're like, either we delay it and it's bad, like from a contractual standpoint, or we put it out and it's bad from a optics standpoint with the community. So they opted to do the latter, and then they've updated it 20 major updates for free over 6 years, and it's like it's like an MMO now. They have accidentally a live game.
Well, and you know, one of my most vivid memories of No Man's Sky was the mountains of abuse heaped on Sean Murray and that team after it launched, which honestly, like, look, it's okay to be, it's fine to be disappointed that a game didn't launch exactly the way you thought it might. That there's nothing wrong with that. But to subject Sean Murray and his team to that, like, I don't know. I could not have handled that. I could not. I don't think I could have weathered that storm. Yeah. And to see what No Man's Sky has become, like you said, it's a living dude. People have like fucking federations and like, I mean, it is nuts just how far this game has come. Like I hadn't touched it in years. And I watched a video of the most recent update, and people are running around with fucking capes and their own freighters that are manned by NPCs. And there are entire, like, there are armies and there are guilds, and all of these are, none of these are actually things that are started by I forget the name of the fucking dev team.
Hello Games,
right? Yeah, I'm having a brain fart tonight. But none of these are actual, like, this is all player created. This is all player generated, and that's the part that impresses me the most. I could not be happy for the team. It's such a turn, probably even more so than Final Fantasy 14. I think probably the biggest turnaround for a game probably ever. Because I mean, there are how many people playing this shit now?
A lot. I mean, they still
Yeah,
sell like hotcakes.
A significant amount.
Yeah, they put it on sale for 50% off whenever there's an update, big update. And that always brings in tons of folks, and you know, they still do, you know, their ad campaigns and stuff whenever there's a big update. Like they had me do a sponsored stream, which was like, that was like right on, you know, because I'm gonna play it anyways.
Yeah.
And still, you know, Sean Murray had their advertising agency reach out to me and be like, hey, do you want to do a sponsored stream for the new release coming out or whatever? They didn't really tell me what it was, because they were just like, hey, we have a No Man's Sky thing. But I was like, all right, new update. So yeah, I mean, like they're still kicking pretty hard, and they're not anywhere near done from what I can tell. Like they're just constantly putting out stuff, and they have not charged for, there's no microtransactions in game. There's not been a paid DLC, nothing, but they are functioning on community goodwill and like just continuing to improve their product and sell it, because they sell it for $60 unless there's a new update.
And also, they've updated it for like every console platform that's come out. They've done VR ports. There's more VR ports coming when PSVR 2
like, I mean, it's
comes. Like,
so I actually, Goth, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Are you gonna pick it up on Switch?
On the Switch? No, okay. I don't think it's gonna run well. So no, it won't. You and I are big Nintendo guys, John.
Yes, we are.
I believe very strongly that Nintendo had new hardware lined up. Man, we're not even following the script at all. We're going to talk about this.
That's fine. We got plenty of time.
We got plenty of time. That's
tangents are what we do.
But I think that Nintendo had hardware or has an iteration that was about to happen or be announced, and then the pandemic happened, and microprocessor shortages. Nintendo's not going to sell hardware at a loss. Simply not going to do it. So they probably had all these partners with like Super Switch projects, and they're like, look, whoops, we're not releasing this thing until we're going to make money off of it. And I think there's a lot of devs who were developing things for that Switch and then had to put out these products that look so rough that like do not run on their current hardware well at all. Like look at, I mean, like I know it's a first party, but look at Arceus and how
I was gonna say even a lot of first party stuff runs like garbage. I do genuinely believe that there was some kind of pro or super model that was
there was the works at some point for there not to be a fire.
Exactly, and at this point they went, well, we might as well just coast through until we can get a Switch 2 or whatever out at this point.
They're not going to launch it without Breath of Wild. They're not going to launch Breath of Wild 2 until the new hardware is ready.
And like,
I also think that they had the OLED screens for it, and they had the stock of those, and they're like, what the hell are we going to do with these OLED screens?
Let's make a Switch OLED.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And people like me are going to buy it. I mean, I bought one day one.
I bought the hell out of it for Metroid. Look, I was like,
fucking absolutely, dude.
I'm sorry. I got to get Metroid on the pretty screen. That's just... I'm the target audience for that kind of bullshit.
Oh,
because,
hell yeah, dude.
Look, and I'll do it again. If they drop a limited edition, like, I'm not going to do it for the Splatoon one, but if they drop it for a game franchise I care about, I'll buy a third Switch. I have no impulse control.
I have 4 Zelda 3DSs.
See? So do I. I mean, not all this. I have the Link Between Worlds one and the Ocarina of Time one and the Majora's Mask one. Yeah. I'm right there with you. It's a problem.
I'm part of the problem, right? Because whatever Nintendo puts out, like even if it's the most incremental of updates,
you could have ended it at "I'm part of the problem." I would have agreed.
I'm part of every fucking problem, Derek. You know this.
Facts.
But we to kind of circle back real quick. We had been talking about abuse that Hello Games had been receiving.
Look at this professional ass transition
that's
here.
A good fucking segue.
Wait, before we transition, I had one more question for guys.
Yeah, you ruined it. God damn it!
I did, but I kept trying to find like a good
transition down, and
I was trying to find. You know what? I don't even care. This is a genuine question because we have an actual real life person here that might have answers for this. So when you are like a big boy streamer with like a very sizable following and you're known for certain games, do you ever feel like you can't just switch it up and play something on a whim because it might not be what your audience wants? Like, how do you balance between audience expectations and what you're personally vibing with? Does that ever come into play for you?
Oh yeah, that comes into play hardcore, or at least it did. Now I kind of just do whatever the fuck I want. But for a long time, I felt really, really stapled to Destiny, and for a long time, it didn't matter. I had a good time. I had good vibes. Community was great. We were having fun. You know, I was making money, so I was like, cool. Like if a game comes out they want to watch, maybe I'll play that. Maybe, you know. But then it gets it wears on you when like you start to hit, you know, content droughts, or maybe the community is going through some crap that they blame you for. So yeah, no, you definitely worry about like transitioning to other things and how that'll affect your bottom line. But you either grind it out and are unhappy, or you make a switch and you know, take a risk, jump off the cliff and see how like variety content will work, which is what I ended up doing like in 2017. Okay. I think maybe 2016 was like around before Breath of the Wild 1 came out. I started really focusing on and that came out in 17, right? Was that 17?
Yeah.
Man, time is a flat circle.
Yeah, it's bullshit. I hate it so much. But yeah, so I think when Breath of the Wild was like my turning point for variety, because I developed a relationship with Nintendo of America, which at this point is impossible. Like that doesn't happen. Like they talk to very few people. I was at the time a Nintendo ambassador. I had a Switch and Breath of the Wild 2 weeks before it came out, and they gave me permission to stream it the day before it came out. And that was when I solidified, like, I'm a variety streamer, and went in that direction. Obviously, we always came home to Destiny when there was new stuff, but I very hard pivoted because like I positioned myself to do so. It was 6 months of planning. Like if there's something you want to do as a streamer, you plan for it. Planning, positioning, you campaigning. Like you saw it when I came back to Twitch. I had a whole campaign. I had a theme. Yep, I had a plan for content. And I was certain of it, you know, and it has been, in my mind, a great success coming back. I didn't have expectations. I was like, I don't know. I've been gone 3 years. Maybe everybody hates me now. I don't know. And it's been wonderful. It's been so good. So, yeah. Yes, it is scary to switch away from your main game. Absolutely.
It's been really nice to see the reception that you've had coming back to Twitch after so like honestly, it almost kind of feels like you never left. You're back and things are I think better than they were before, and it's been nice to see you in such a positive headspace about it on Twitter as well.
There's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, when I left, I was burnt out. When I left, I don't think I appreciated a lot of the things that I should, because you lose perspective. I think it's easy to lose perspective when you do something for a while. Like when you're in a room, you lose perspective on the color of the paint in that room. But when you leave it and come back, you're like, wow, what a shade of purple, you know? So,
yep.
Alexa, change the lights to purple. Fuck you, Alexa. She's not going to listen. That would have been a great moment. She never listens. Such a bitch. So yeah. Yeah, Headspace has been real good. I feel a lot lighter than when I left. I'm like figuratively and physically. I started working on my health. That's really good for your mental. And
you look great, by the way, man. Like seriously, well done on the fitness journey, man.
It's been a lot, and I'm really glad that I don't know, snapped into whatever headspace I'm in now. But it's yeah.
So, all right. I'm going to try this transition again.
Yeah, let's do this.
Finn really fucked this up. Yep. So we're going to pretend like the last 10 minutes didn't happen. Yeah, and I'm just going to say, so we were just now 5 seconds ago talking about all the abuse that...
Wait, real quick, another...
Finn, shut your fucking mouth. Christ. Anyway, speaking about the abuse that was heaped on Hello Games, as we were just speaking about it 5 seconds ago. There is another. See, I can't even it's gone now. It's fucking gone. So let's talk about let's talk about what's happening.
Hey,
with
to
Bungie.
interrupt you, can I interrupt you for a second? Do you mind if we talk about the Bungie abuse?
We can, yeah, please, Gothalion, absolutely. Let's talk about the Bungie abuse. I think that's a great topic.
That's a real.
That would have been a good transition, John. You should have done that.
Yeah, you should have. I don't know.
Thank God we have Goth here to steer the conversation properly.
So weird you wouldn't.
Really? I mean, God,
What a sack of crap I am.
I know ADHD can be a bitch, but man,
So I'm so depressed. So
aren't we all?
So I don't know exactly. So Goth, maybe you can fill us in because I don't know where all this started. I'm friends with Liana, and I haven't spoken up to her about it yet because I'm sure she doesn't want to talk about it right now. But where exactly did this all start?
What like the
kind of the current situation. Like it's
I don't know like
what
one specific thing. It's like years worth of stuff.
Years
that is
of shit, dude. I mean, I can go back to 2016 and think of things people said to me, and I was a streamer. You know, like I'm not even making the game, and I get blamed for, you know, whatever in-game decision, or people attempt to threaten me or harass me.
Your RNG sucks, Goth. You're shit. Like
they give me viable proof that they know where my wife works. Like scary shit, dude. Yeah, like it's fucking like and I think it's any fandom, you know, it's not exclusive to the Destiny community.
Yeah,
but it's like a problem with fandom in the grand scheme of things.
With fandom, especially for like live MMO kind of games, because people like it's another world, it's another life, and people take it very seriously. So I'm not sure what the straw was that broke the camel's back, so to speak, because I wouldn't say I'm unplugged from the Destiny community, but I'm kind of like you know the Squidward meme where he's sitting on the bench with his fucking tanning rack and he looks over and like he's annoyed and he looks back. Done. That was me for 3 years. Like, you know, if talk about where my headspace is now, it's because of that. Because I had like nothing was my fucking problem for a while. I very much focused on just streaming and mainly family and myself during the pandemic. Like that was my focus. I was unplugged. So I don't know like what the final thing was with Bungie, but I think, you know, you're right that it's a culmination of many years of harassment just based on my own experience. It's people like going after their YouTube creators, like looking like the guy who did the false claims on Bungie videos made by other people.
Bungie has a few like lawsuits out right now.
Yes,
one of them is this guy that he pretended to be Bungie on YouTube and sent malicious DMCA takedowns to various Destiny content creators.
Yep.
He is being charged with 96 counts of malicious fraud.
Yep. He's fucked.
Yeah, he's so screwed. Yeah, he did, and he like sent messages to people. Like he was very explicit that he was doing this to hurt people and hurt people related to Destiny. And these are just content.
Leave like a manifesto around.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
God.
There was a developer run off Twitter for revealing an exotic won't be returning. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh,
like
yes. Yeah.
That was a big one.
When he said it was the
Twilight Garrison.
Yep. Yeah, he said that's not coming back. That sort of movement is part of the Warlocks archetype now, and Titans aren't going to have that ability, you know? And people were furious. They fucking lost it, dude. It was like you had kicked their dog. Like, it's unbelievable, man. Like, I wanted the Twilight Garrison to come back, and he said that, and I was like, oh, man, that sucks. Anyways, you know, like
your day because it's a fucking video game.
Jesus man. Like, come on, yeah.
Touching grass is no longer enough.
That guy was one of the most communicative, like Bungie developers about stuff that was going on.
Yep.
That is fucking. See, I did not know. That is fucking garbage.
Yeah. And then there's the other
lawsuit.
Then there's the other lawsuit, which
that's not a phrase you ever like to hear. And then there's the other lawsuit.
Yeah, so it's one specific guy, and I think a lot of the headlines around this have kind of done it a disservice because I've seen some people saying it's kind of a petty thing. for Bungie to be doing, because a lot of the headlines are, he's being sued for ban evasion and stuff like that. He's been banned like 12 times and has made new accounts and stuff like
that. Headline writers, why has this guy been banned 12 times?
Yeah. So, and like this guy's like, and it's like, yeah, he's been very toxic and poorly behaved in game. However, he's basically also threatened to shoot up Bungie. Because he made a big deal about moving close to where it's going to be, and is like, okay. He was like tweeting at individual Bungie developers like, I'm close, you aren't safe.
Is this the guy who has threatened to burn down their headquarters?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, multiple times. Yeah, he's a giant piece of shit, man. Yeah. I don't get it. I really don't.
And the thing is, the thing that's really scary about this is, I don't think it's just Bungie that goes through this. It's pretty much everybody that deals with any kind of service game.
Just expected to put up with it, I guess, which is kind of fucked.
I think Bungie found, and I'm not saying they didn't have their nutsack, but I feel like they just hit a moment where it was like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Because I'm sure other studios are worried about, if we go after our players and maybe the optics won't be good, and then their marketing department gets involved and they're like, yeah, you shouldn't go after the players, just let it go, and it goes hand in hand with like, people will say like, hey, just don't feed the trolls, like responding to trolls or giving out repercussions. Don't feed them, just don't give them ammo. They'll go away. Here's the truth: trolls aren't gonna fucking go away. Nope. Bad people don't stop being bad, they just get worse, and they just
get more emboldened.
Exactly. Exactly. And they think that they're on the side of righteous, so they think that they are the majority. So they need to be shown they're not.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because I was just about to make the point that when somebody tells Bungie, like this guy, he said they need to keep their doors locked, which is a direct fucking threat.
Yeah.
No bones about it. That's a fucking threat.
That's a fucking threat, 100%.
You can 99% of people will tell you, don't worry about it. It's just online bullshit. Nobody's going to do anything. Look at what's happening in fucking schools in this country right now. When somebody makes a threat against your life or the lives of people you care about, you have to take it seriously.
Yeah.
You can't afford to ignore that shit.
Nope, you cannot.
You can't.
And also, a good thing that I think could come out of this is because I think both of these particular lawsuits, I think, are important for a lot of developers and studios, and I think Bungie's in a good place for getting a decent outcome from them and establishing that legal precedent.
Yes.
I think is going to be a really big thing going forward.
Yeah.
So I'm really keeping I'm really going to keep a close eye on these, because I think it will have other effects going forward for other studios.
I hope so.
I hope so, man. I want to see some more of these idiots just get their fucking lives ruined. Like, I'm not like, okay, yep. I'm kind of a vengeful, spiteful guy.
Hey, me too.
Yeah, I know. That's why we get along. And I just want to see. Do you have to set a precedent? You have to be like, you stop it. Like, I know
we need examples made. People need to be made examples.
People do still get like swatted, but not nearly as much as before a couple of these guys went to fucking prison. And not just like overnight prison, but like you're in goddamn prison. That kind of prison.
The prison.
Yeah.
Because
prison.
This sound like I wasn't aware of some of the shit this guy had been saying and sending to the Bungie devs. And when you look at it, this is the kind of shit that people fucking act on. Or if they don't act on it, it inspires somebody else who's even worse to kind of take up that torch and be like, okay, well, you know what? Like, if you're not going to do it, I will, because they didn't bring the fucking Twilight Garrison back. They've ruined my Warlock build that I've had for the past 6 years. That's 6 years of my life down the drain, man. Like,
by the way, this guy's whole defense is, I'm just a kid that was playing a character. That was it. That was his whole defense.
Oh, the Alex Jones defense. Yeah, let me know how that fucking goes.
It was an act. It was it was actually carefully crafted theater. You see what when you get into a role, it's method acting. When you get into a role, you have to get into that role completely. Like I want to see this guy fucking perp walked. Like I this shit like this. Eventually, somebody's gonna get hurt. Someone's gonna get shot. Someone's gonna get killed.
Undoubtedly, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah,
and it just, and it's not just important for devs like Bungie to push back on this stuff. I'm glad they're being as proactive as they are about going after this guy.
Yeah, it makes a big difference for the studio to actually speak out officially.
But it's
also good for the like. I mean, that's a big show from the company itself that it's taking steps to protect its employees.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. And, it's also incumbent upon people with platforms like people on this podcast to talk about this stuff and speak up about it. Because, the only way to brighten a dark room is to shine a light in it. Right. And this shit is just it's getting worse. It's getting worse and worse and worse. I've received death threats over stupid shit.
John, you know what I do for a living. I work in local news. I've been having a blast the last 6 years.
Yeah, I mean, like, my wife, Derek, do you remember somebody sent me a message on Twitter saying, I'm about town, and, he was able to list off where Vicky works and what street it was on, and he had like a little gun emoji. And, you can just laugh that off. But I went to the fucking police station.
Can't laugh that shit off, man.
I was like, no. I'm like, okay, you threatened my fucking wife.
And a lot of the people who say to laugh it off and not take it seriously are people who've never been in that situation. Because the moment it's you, the moment it's you in the hot seat, that shit feels way different.
Yeah. There's a alarming amount of troll apologists. That if you take a stand against that kind of behavior, or are supportive of others who take a stand against it, like suddenly, like you're the fucking bad guy, for going after, some 19-year-old piece of shit who's making somebody else's day difficult. Like, you should just let it, it's just internet, like it's not though. Like, this is like, we're beyond that. This isn't 1995 and we're in a Yahoo chat room that I can unplug, and then it's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna go outside. No, like
this shit follows you.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I mean, like social media, Twitter is part of the cultural zeitgeist now, and people know, and you know what? Based on what you tweet, based on the pictures you tweet, it is not difficult to determine where someone lives.
Oh no, not at all.
It's just not, and it's do we lose Justin?
No, I'm right
we
here.
lost Finn.
We lost Finn. There, sorry, I got half my screen cut off. But yeah, it's sad. It's disgusting, and honestly, I want to see all these people made fucking examples. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I just want to add one note. It's not to the same extent of other stuff, but like one thing, especially with social media, and like when you go to talk to like a developer about something they work on, a lot of these people are not dedicated comms people. And so it's like, I just got done working at a hotel, but it would be like if I was, off the clock getting food somewhere and somebody came up and started asking me questions about issues that they had with housekeeping, while I was just trying to mind my own fucking business and go about my day when I'm not on the clock. Well, like, keep that in mind.
You've heard some of my horror stories, right? From back when I worked at Nintendo. Yeah. Like, man, working for Nintendo sucks because, like, cool company sometimes, but like I was everybody's 24/7 bitch fest about anything they didn't like about Nintendo. And people follow me. It was like, oh God.
So try to keep track of like what platforms and ways that developers want you to communicate with them and be respectful of that, because like a lot of people, I think, just turn anybody that works on a video game into their personal customer service.
Well, and even like the comms and PR people, like
and
have time
polite
off
and nice to them too.
Yeah,
Also,
just because the comms person is on Twitter doesn't mean that that's an official complaints form for you.
Yeah.
Like,
well, like
good
there's
luck with
another.
that.
Well, there's
Yeah,
another
I
side of that. Wait, there's like two other facets to this too. One is, and I'm sure we've all seen this. It's like, you know, a Twitter. Let's just use Bungie as an example, right? Like the official Bungie account will tweet something out that a subset of players, Twitter users, don't like, right? Well, they will start bitching and moaning about how this sucks. This is a terrible change. Guys, you're not talking to the devs. You're talking to the community social media manager who's running that Twitter account. You're not talking to the devs when you're tweeting at the official Bungie account. You're talking to the social media guy making those tweets.
it's also just not the right way to talk to the devs.
Speaking as somebody that's had to be on that side of things, especially for like something like Arc System Works, where the FGC is notoriously strong-minded and proactive about letting you know what they're not fans of. It's and the worst part is there's this expectation that community managers and social managers should just take that abuse because
they shouldn't.
It's part of the job, and it's terrible. It sucks. You're the first line of defense against a whole tsunami of hate whenever something. I mean, the job's amazing when the devs do something that the fans like that. Just you're just on cloud nine. Then everyone's just happy and having a good time. But the opposite is just soul crushing sometimes, and you have to be always on. Like you can't just ignore it. You have to be like sifting through the responses for the stuff that you can engage in, and it's rough, man. It's not fun.
There's a second side to all this, and it's something that I've had to deal with recently. Goth, I know you must have had to deal with this, and that is parasocial relationships on social media. And you know, like as somebody, so I've got like roughly 13,000 followers on Twitter, right? I'm very close friends with
why
a few of I don't know
why do people follow you. You're just a dude.
I don't know. I have no fucking idea. But I've got some very close friends among that group, and the rest are people who, for whatever reason, follow me. I don't know them very well, but for whatever, like, people get a comfortability with being open with me, and in a way that is inappropriate. And so if I tweet something that they don't like, they get extra mad about it because they sense a relationship that exists that just isn't there.
You've also gotten some really gross, horny DMs, which I have.
Hey,
you are famously like straight, so that like these guys who DM you these things like should know that it's not welcome. But like also it doesn't matter because like I'm queer and I wouldn't want to get those DMs because like I didn't ask for that. So like
don't send that to anyone. God, I know that like if I've had to deal with this shit, I know you must have had to deal with stuff like this.
Oh yeah, no, there's I mean I've been
watching you for years, God. How could you do this?
Well, yeah, like you'll see like this. You better just stick to video games kind of tweets. Like, tweet outs if you tweet anything that's like partially even maybe political or
politics
like
out of video games.
Yeah, let's take politics out of video games. And it's like, bitch, have you played a Bungie game? Like they're all politics.
People don't do that about anything else. Like if you talk about movies, they're not like, I'm only here for video games. How dare you talk about this movie you enjoyed? Like, it's always just the politics that they don't want to hear about. Funny how that works.
Well, you know what?
But yeah, I haven't run into that a ton lately because I think I've like really made who I am very known over the years. But definitely like years ago, if I like, I would see that where if I expressed an opinion that I was outside what somebody else thought I should feel, they would react like with an immense amount of vitriol, like improportionately or disproportionately. So yeah, I've been there.
Well, speaking of people getting angry, what?
I was going to say, how is this transition going to work, John?
Doesn't matter. I'll derail it.
Nah, he'll get there. He'll get it. No, I want to see how he gets there.
Yeah, let's.
All right,
so let me hold on.
Oh, he's gonna get there. I think
All
it's gonna work.
I can do this. So speaking of people getting mad about, oh, they'll keep politics out of my games. There have been a lot of people who are very angry in a very stupid fucking way at Grand Theft Auto 6.
Sure.
And some of the
You know
reveals
what?
that have been made
That's
about
only like
woke. Is that the thing?
That's only like a third of the story, but I'm gonna give that to you, John. So
thank you.
this has been a big one for me, so I can kind of summarize what the news is, and then we can talk about it.
Okay.
So long and short of it is, Bloomberg had an article about some major changes that have been taking place at Grand Theft Auto developer Rockstar, and some major changes that are coming to Grand Theft Auto 6 that make it somewhat different from the rest of the franchise. And I think you can kind of put this under three separate like categories of this. One is that Rockstar has become a significantly better place to work. And it sounds like they've responded very positively to criticism and feedback of how they were as a workplace. They have quietly kind of gone around and gotten rid of a lot of the problem managers and supervisors and people like that who made it an HR unfriendly place to work for various types of people. They have converted a ton of their contractors to full-time employees, which is a big deal. That's a major part of how the games industry gets around like good,
benefits.
Work. Yeah, exactly. Benefits, better pay, a healthier work-life balance is to bring people on as contractors. So converting them to full-time gives them better access to human resources, access to benefits, things like that. And they are also attempting to eliminate crunch. One of the biggest things they're doing is implementing flex time. In other words, whenever people work extra, when they work long shifts, those hours immediately convert into more time off they can take. That's pretty standard in a lot of tech jobs and a lot of, especially, tech. Like if you work at a call center, you get flex time, right? So it's not an unheard of thing, but it's a big deal for game development to do that because game development, historically, not a great place for labor practices. So part one is it's a much better place to work than it previously was. Part two is that the company is making a choice to be much more socially conscious with Grand Theft Auto 6, which is not to say it's going to stop being, funny or satirical of American pop culture and the way of life, any of these sort of things, but they made a big choice to focus on making sure that their humor no longer punches down at vulnerable groups. You can have satire, you can be sharp and funny, and you can do that without making fun of trans people for existing, right? So that's a major rule for them with their comedy and their satire, which I don't think, like, that just means you're not doing the South Park approach of nothing is off limits. Like, you can make some things off limits and it's fine. You can still be very funny. And a lot of people are obviously very upset about that because it's woke, which is a word that has lost all meaning at this point. I actually suggest some of the people who are mad about that to take a nap. And then third there's just some general details about Grand Theft Auto 6, like it's going to be a Latina protagonist for the first time.
Losers are so
set in
mad.
Vice
It's
City.
funny.
And we don't
kind of
even
a
know if that's
Bonnie
the
and
only
Clyde
playable character. They're acting like that'll be like it's most likely going to be a GTA 5 split.
And like Grand Theft Auto's had non-white
it'll
protagonists
have
before. It just
multiple
I don't think
characters.
I don't think a mainline game has had a woman as a main playable protagonist before. But like again, it's not even weird because apropos like absent of anything else, a completely different A word. Having a Hispanic woman as the main character is not like weird. For Grand Theft Auto, it doesn't feel out of place.
Michael was the main character of 5?
That's hard because it was clearly like the trio, and yet I think you can kind of rank the importance of the trio where like Michael is the first one that you get in touch with. He's the one that seems to have the most influence and direct agency in the plot.
Right?
Franklin feels like you're secondary because he's the one who the plot is most sympathetic to. And spends, again, most of the time actually being like directly interfaced with the main plot. And then Trevor kind of just feels like he's bolted on for the most part to me.
Real quick, who are these people you're talking about? Because I only know about GTA Online. That's the only aspect of Grand Theft Auto that exists anymore.
Yeah.
So
I don't
I'm
know.
confused
Grand Theft Auto
about
5 didn't have a
this
bad story
plot
mode
that you're
like,
talking about.
You know, but anyway.
The main character of Grand Theft Auto is the card shark.
It's you. But
I don't know. I think as far as like people being upset, there's a Latina in focus for 6. That's pretty wild. If you played 5, then you know that like it really depends on your own perspective. Like I asked that question because it's like I'm sure some people will choose Michael or Trevor or Franklin. For me, like all of my favorite missions were Trevor missions because I'm unhinged and he's a giant piece of shit.
They're very fun. I love him being in
like
there.
put on my black hat fantasy. So I'm like, Trevor's my main character, you know, and I'm sure it was incredibly important, you know, for a lot of folks that Franklin was a focal point, you know, and he was a major focal point. I would say at times during the game, like his missions were most important from like a pivotal story point. Same for like the other 2 throughout. So that's gonna happen. There's nothing wrong with like all of us will agree. There's nothing wrong with them taking that approach and giving a spotlight to folks that might feel marginalized or want to feel represented. Like representation is important.
GTA is one of the biggest things out there. Not even just video games, just one of the biggest things out there. You know, there's more than one type of person playing these games.
For sure.
Well, and like I think
this is going to be set in Vice City, which is their Miami analog, and like you're going to tell me you're surprised that maybe someone of Hispanic descent might be like important in a game set in Miami, like. Is this really like breaking the bounds of believability
is that the idea
to
that
you?
It's going to start in Miami again, or
in Vice City, yeah,
Vice City, yeah.
That was part of the.
I heard
report.
that they were going to be adding new cities throughout.
Yeah,
that's what I heard too.
I think that's wild, and so it kind of confirms that 6 will be a live service, games as a service type of thing.
I'm curious
Also,
if they'll have like defined focal main characters, or if you're. I would love to see them do a thing where if your personal character that you make somehow is present throughout the story, whether you play them or if they're like a side character, and then you like take them online. I'm a big live service guy. I always want to see how they can.
How great would it be if you custom your character to look ridiculous and he just pops up into some really serious mafioso?
I love those fucking
just in the background.
Yeah,
exactly. Walking with like a duck hat or something.
Serious cutscenes, you know.
The Saints Row 2 effect.
Like, if they do this like adding locations thing, that might be also one of the ways that they're adjusting their development pipeline instead of being like, look, we have to do the most ambitious thing ever and it has to be super polished and complete before we release it.
Especially if you want to release this game
we can release, you know, something.
It could be a more condensed map.
It could be a more condensed map, and then they just add to it over time instead of having to like completely blow everything else away like from day one.
I'm hoping that one of the cities they add is one where you get to play a cowboy online in a Western setting and they actually add content to it. That would be fucking great.
See, it's funny because I was actually going to say, I really like the idea that they're going to try to be a little more grown up with Grand Theft Auto because it feels like 5 took a like for being as wild as 5 was. It definitely felt like it was trying to step into like HBO crime drama kind of territory, like a little bit. And I haven't played either Red Dead Redemption. I've been told that's a huge mistake on my part.
It is.
But people people heap praise on Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. And it's the same company. There's nothing stopping them from treating Grand Theft Auto with the same degree of seriousness as something like Red Dead Redemption, and it doesn't. It also doesn't stop them from making a very funny game, you know. But they can be mature about it.
One of my favorite things that I have seen about this this big dust up about Grand Theft Auto 6 is this prominent shitlord on Twitter. I'm not even going to give his name any airtime.
Sure.
He was very angry. He was very angry because Grand Theft Auto is an American staple at this point, and I can't believe that they're shitting all over it. Like this game is America. Like make Grand Theft Auto great again. And I'm like, dude, do you fucking understand what Grand Theft Auto is?
Also, do you know where it's made? Do you know where that game is made? Because it's not America.
Like, dude, do you fucking understand that Grand Theft Auto as a franchise makes fun of American culture? Like, do you understand it's lampooning American? Like, do you comprehend that?
We haven't seen a single screenshot of this game.
Satire is, John.
We haven't
had a single anything from this game. There's nothing. There's no artwork. There's been no teaser. We don't have a logo
here.
People are mad online. And I really wish that people would maybe discover legal substances that would help them chill the fuck out.
People fucking talk about, oh, I'm not going to buy it. Like, yeah, you are. Come on, dude. Don't fucking lie to me.
There's no way that the people that are like, I'm not going to buy this are going to pass up on a Grand Theft Auto game.
No, there's no way.
You can lie to us all you want, but don't.
They're going to sell it. They're going to sell it for 10 years across 3 generations of systems.
Yeah.
So
keep in mind, I'm the guy that actually hasn't bought GTA 5.
You know,
I'm the guy that actually hasn't bought any copies of GTA 5, and I still know these people are gonna buy it. Like
they might be aiming to make the last Grand Theft Auto. You know,
yeah.
like if it's gonna be something
if they update it over time, yeah.
Yeah, if it's live, then they can just add stories, characters, change the engine, so on and so forth.
So we've talked a little bit about what we know about Grand Theft Auto 6, but what do you guys want to actually see from the game? Like what do you guys actually want in Grand Theft Auto 6?
Better controls, gunplay, driving, stuff like that. 5 was still a little loose and sloppy. There's a lot better in 4, right? But there's room to grow.
Yeah. The gunplay even in Red Dead wasn't great. Like, yeah, their combat definitely needs pretty big overhauls to be up to snuff.
I would like to see characters that don't run like they are constantly pinching off of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to get to the bathroom as quickly as I
actually want them to run like it's worse.
Like, Derek, you know that's how they run. They're running like, if anyone here has ever been on a run and you've all of a sudden you got to take a shit and there's a bathroom, see, you know what I'm talking about, maybe a quarter of a mile away, and you're like I may have a big fucking problem here, and all of a sudden it's like that. It's the worst feeling in the world. It's the worst because that quarter of a mile might as well be 3 fucking miles, and the whole time you're like, I'm gonna shit my pants. I'm gonna shit my pants, and you've got that fucking run where you're like clenching your ass cheeks together and you're moving your hips.
John saying I'm gonna shit my pants with
just
that's fine. No, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. No, that's great. Fucking do it. Go ahead.
The craziest transition I think we'll have done of the night. So
go ahead, you cowards, clip it. But that is how these fucking characters run in Rockstar games. And jokes aside, it's the absolutely janky controls and the weird animations are just so off-putting to me, and they always have been.
See, for me, that's kind of part of the charm.
I kind of like the jank, but Saints Row has kind of eaten a lot of that.
Something about ragdolling when you
meet the same quality that their worlds are.
Yeah,
you know, you can't I play Red Dead and it's like, wow, the world is the star. Like what a believable game world that is. And then, you know, you have the janky gunplay and physics and stuff. And I know that making open world games is very difficult. You know, ask CD Projekt Red, but you know, I just really hope, because they really mastered making a believable world. If they can master making believable AI and characters next, and gameplay, then no one's gonna beat Rockstar. I mean, Rockstar's already, you know, making money hand over fist, but I'm sure that they are, you know, perfectionists and want both facets of their game to be great. You know, like a why not both situation. I'm sure they want that.
When do we think this shit is coming out?
I don't expect to see it for a while. They said currently they hope to get it out fiscal year 2024, but GTA always gets at least a year delay. So,
all right, I
think we see a 15-second teaser at the Game Awards this year. I think this Game Awards is going to blow everybody's fucking mind. Like, there's no way it's not. We're going into 2023.
We'll get the
22 is
logo
weird for games.
Yeah.
and we'll maybe get like the whatever their little box design, like their cover design that they like to do. We won't get any context for it, but people will be able to use those images to kind of theory craft.
Oh, there will be fake
months.
covers on Facebook. I mean,
there's already
like
fake
that.
covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? So
Okay. Cool.
So you know what's really cool with the Game Awards this year is that before it had what's that? Oh, did
you
I cut out
you
for a
keep
minute?
freezing
Oh,
for a
you
minute, and then
froze.
you come
That's really
back,
weird.
and everything happens at once, and you kind of give off like a Ben Shapiro vibe for a bit as you just
You never fucking say that again.
Theoretically.
yeah.
Derek.
I like how you
Never fucking-
you were about to say Finn, like it was automatically assumed I would make.
Well, because
I just
normally you're the
deflect.
fucking normally you're the fucking shit poster here.
He can't be mad at me. That's homophobia.
Fuck you, but you're right.
I'm excited about the Game Awards because John promises every year that Metroid Prime Trilogy.
Oh no!
will be
I was
coming.
going to say Metroid Prime. I will already have been playing Metroid Prime HD on my Switch before the Game Awards, so that's what rules about
I
the
don't
Game Awards
believe
this
that's
year.
true, but
Derek, what are you doing with
Oh,
your camera?
I'm
Oh, it's
showing
Twiggy.
the dog.
Oh, it's Twiggy. Hey, Twiggy.
She grumpy. Anyway.
I was like,
But,
what's going on, man?
Yeah, for a minute I was like, Derek.
Got some
Just
SDG
met,
after hour vibes going
I was
on
like,
here.
yeah,
know?
it's Derek.
It's 10 p.m. All pretense is done.
Derek, we're not.
If the camera moves, it's because there's
The
a pit
after
bull.
hours portion of
There's
the
a pit
podcast,
bull
yeah.
somewhere that needs a camera on them.
Very good.
All right, so did you guys want to launch into our last topic tonight, which is VR?
Yeah, this is unhinged.
This is wild.
So
Our last topic is actually about the launch of Digimon Survive.
yeah.
fuck off,
Very
Finn.
excited.
That's actually a big ass deal, and I do need to get that, but I gotta beat Live Alive first. So this is fucking unhinged, y'all. Facebook, I'm not calling them Meta. It's Facebook.
I fucking refuse.
fucking
dude.
get
I'm
over
not doing that
yourselves.
shit.
I legally can't say meta anymore, so
Facebook is raising the MSRP on the Oculus Quest 2, which I think is now they're calling it the Meta Quest 2, but fuck you, it's the Oculus Quest 2.
fair.
They're raising the MSRP by $100.
I don't
This is a-
understand it.
This is a several-year-old piece of hardware, and I
Part of the
understand.
reason it's been successful is because of the price.
Right.
Yeah,
It's I know that the headset itself was like razor thin, right? It was damn near sold at cost. But like I don't think I've ever seen a situation. I'm trying to think of a time when a piece of gaming hardware launched, was out for a couple of years, and then saw an MSRP increase, much less a triple digit price increase.
And it's so weird because I always viewed it like you said, like they're selling like at cost, if that, and it was always
Yeah,
like
it was really low.
the Razor and Blade model. Like you were getting them invested into your ecosystem and into your VR stores and building that groundwork for making VR more mainstream. And it really feels like raising the price like this without the benefit of like better hardware. Like it's not like this is the Quest 3 that they're dropping.
Right.
They're just making it more expensive, which is I'm failing to see how that's going
Did they
to
do an
help.
announce for it, or did it just like
It just shadow
really
dropped
did.
a tweet.
This
They're just like,
drop-
yeah, next week the price goes up $100.
Have
I'm trying
fun.
to- I mean, I
They
understand it
put out like a
helps-
presser.
I don't think it was a presser. It was just
It was
a
just
tweet.
like a
Just a
tweet.
tweet. It was a tweet.
Yeah.
What?
We're fucking increasing the price on you boys. Like,
What? Why?
you-
though?
Oh, but they're offering Beat Saber free for a
I don't
limited
understand
time.
that. I mean, the thing's been out 2 years almost, or it has been. It'll be 2 years this like winter.
Yeah.
Because I remember getting one when it first came out from Facebook directly. They sent me one, and yeah, that was cool. But like, why? I don't understand that. Yeah, that doesn't.
They could
like,
so
you would
easily
assume
have.
there's new hardware coming soon and be
Yeah,
like, oh,
right.
well, they'll lower the price on the
They
old.
could so easily have given us a revision that was like higher resolution, better battery life, like some modest increases, and
Yeah.
gone, this is the Quest 3 or Quest Super
like
or
they
whatever.
could have treated it like the Switch OLED. Like it's not that big of an upgrade, but it's enough to kind of justify the increased price, I guess. But they're just like, no, they're just like, nah, we're good.
The thing that's also wild about this is like Sony's getting ready to talk about PSVR 2. Yeah. Like they're probably going to end up being one of, if not the biggest competitor for the Oculus.
Really the only
headset.
competitor. I mean,
yeah, nobody else.
The big advantage that they were going to have was price.
Yep.
And then they just raised price by $100, which means that the PSVR 2 will probably end up looking better in comparison than it would have otherwise when we get the price.
I think any VR you're tethered to still is several years back. Like VR when you're untethered, room scale is such a like far and beyond better experience, and you're still going to be tethered to your PlayStation for PSVR 2, and I'm sure they're going to have all sorts of cool features, but like the Kinect was cool, but nobody fucking used it.
Nobody used the Kinect, dude.
Nobody
you know
used
what?
it.
Chat's got some good points. They're like, yeah, but now they can do a bunch of like $100 sales and make it look like a steal. And someone said, Charlotte IRL said that, now that you no longer are required to connect your account to it, maybe they'll give you $100 voucher or discount if you connect your Facebook account to it. Like that kind of stuff arbitrarily.
Gotta get ad tracking revenue somehow, since Apple fucked Facebook on that one.
I mean, let's be real though. The real crime is that the Quest can't play Astrobot Rescue Mission, which remains the greatest VR experience.
PSVR 2, is that only going to work on PS? I cannot remember. That's PS only?
It'll only work on the PS5.
That's part of the problem, is you have to have a PS5 for a PSVR 2 to even matter to you.
It's niche hardware for a piece of hardware you can't go out and get.
Here's the thing. Quest is Facebook is doing this. I've seen so many different possible reasons, right? They're trying to make more money to use it to offset research and development costs, or because their VR division has dumped like stupid money into R&D because they really want like the metaverse to be a big thing.
To work.
They're a few billion in the hole on that, which is just wild.
If they had just treated this
$2.8 billion on their VR.
If they had treated this like a mundane entertainment platform, it would have been so much healthier for their business. But
why? Like, jokes aside, why raise the price?
Because it's a monopoly and they can. That's what it is. There's no
I think
other.
It comes out of that. I mean, the price. Yeah,
because what are your actual options
gone up
right
a lot over the past couple of years.
Yeah,
you're gonna buy a fucking HTC Vive. Like,
I want to
a PC that supports the specs of the Vive.
Well, I want to circle back.
There's no competitor.
I want to pinpoint something Goth just said. So, you think it's like essentially due to supply chain issues?
I think it's a part of it too. Sure.
I mean, supply chain absolutely has to be part of it. And Facebook, Meta, whatever you want to call them, they also have a lot of data. And maybe their data showed them that it wouldn't matter. Maybe the data showed them that their primary purchasers, which is dudes who want to sit in bed and jerk off to VR porn, are still going to spend another $100 on it because it's wireless.
And you can jerk off anywhere now.
You can jerk off fucking anywhere, dude. Like, you could put that shit on like in the kitchen if you want to. Don't recommend.
If you want to, like, you can go in the living room. You could, I mean, shit, dude. You could sit in the fucking. You could go into the laundry room, sit on the dryer, put that VR headset on, and just whack that meat, dude. Because I mean, you are untethered now. Like the world. In a sense,
conversation is
your oyster.
You know what's funny is I cracked a joke about VR porn the last time I was hanging out with John, and he didn't even know conceptually. Yeah, he was like, "What do you mean?"
That's because John's very analog and old school.
John is such a pure soul. He hasn't been corrupted by the world.
He still rotates through his Girls Gone Wild DVDs. He's got a nice collection on VHS.
I think the porn industry still could like. Directs that shit still? Like, do you think
for sure.
Like, do you remember Blu-rays and HD DVDs?
Oh, I love that. Great. Porn is the reason Blu-ray won. Like, that's such a fascinating fact.
Yeah. Imagine buying porn on a disc. Like You remember hiding
Something's
your
got to be wrong
pornography,
with
John?
you if you're buying that stuff, man.
Goth, Goth. It's cute that you think I hid my pornography from anyone.
I mean, like when you were a kid,
John
like when you
puts
were
it
a
on the
teenager, or did you just
bookshelf.
have your stack of pornography out?
Well, like
quick,
the modern
honey,
day equivalent
companies-
of someone looking under your bed now is opening up your tabs without your permission.
Quick,
Oh, you
honey,
think for one-
company's coming over for dinner. Put the good porn out on the bookcase.
Honey, put out the penthouses. They're classier. It's a better look. Like, oh, dude, you better fucking believe every time my son is over here, I'm flipping, like when he goes to bed, I'm flipping through his fucking search browser. I'm like, I want to know. Like, I want to know.
John, they're too good at hiding shit.
My son is savvy.
The
I'll give
in
him that,
private,
but-
the in private and incognito windows have really just been a huge blow to parents everywhere.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You know what? Can I tell a funny story? It's
Absolutely.
unrelated to everything.
Is it
But
a
you know
Damn
what? It is a story about the son of the president of the company I work for.
You
And
sure you should be telling the story, Finn?
you know what? It's fine. I'm not going to use names. At one point, I'm good friends with the IT director of the company, and we're out grabbing drinks one night, and he tells me this story about how they were contacted by our internet service provider because an unnecessarily large amount of porn was being downloaded at work. And they pinpoint the computer that's doing all the downloading. It's the president's son. He's downloading just 4K videos, not
Finn,
streaming or
again, I
watching,
ask,
but
should you be
actually
telling the story
download-
on the podcast?
Yeah, it's fine. This is my day job stuff. This isn't industry related. This is just silliness that
Okay.
it's a great story. I love it. And then we find out
Okay.
that he's just downloading 4K versions of porn from one very specific site. And
site?
Well,
just-
you find a good one, and why would you ever?
it's
Right?
not even like a wild one. It's tushy.com. Which is
Is that a
apparently a
thing?
thing. It's a thing.
I didn't even know that was a. I didn't even know.
It sounds like that would be a thing.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
expecting you to
sounds
say
like one.
browsers. It's like, okay.
No,
well,
like
everybody
that.
fucking-
You
Okay,
like
yeah,
again.
sure.
You think, but he's not even like he's just actually just like using one of those like video downloader sites or something, like downloading it straight to his computer.
I don't
We
get
don't know
that.
why. We don't need to know why. But I just love that the ISP flagged his computer and
you know what?
contacted our IT.
Did he
department.
live? Did he live in town or was he visiting?
Oh no, he lives in town.
Weird.
Yeah.
Maybe he was going on a trip and he knew he was going to go somewhere with
He's gonna be
spotty internet,
offline,
so he
yeah.
wanted to be prepared for whatever his little tickled mind wanted at the moment. But 4K, important,
Yeah.
you know.
Finn said tushy.com and someone in chat said sounds like bidet porn.
Oh, Alex.
Jesus Christ.
Look,
No,
I
go ahead.
love that story. No, I just love that story, and I was like, you know what? What better time to
John,
to
every one of us
drop
but
that.
you is allowed to talk about our day jobs on here. So
It's true.
I've spilled enough details for people to figure out which station I work at, and that's really dangerous in the grand scheme of things. But
I just quit my day job yesterday.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
gotta know.
started another one in like 4 days.
No,
but
Justin, I gotta know. While we're on that, did you steal the Choco Tacos? Because
I
that's
didn't.
like,
I did it because
But those
Okay,
are worth
so-
something now.
okay, so
Yeah,
let
dude,
me
those
break
are
this down.
gold
So
now.
I worked at a hotel, and we just started getting in Choco Tacos that we were selling in the freezer, like the week before Choco Tacos.
yeah,
got
dude, this is
discontinued.
black market shit now.
And so so yesterday was my last day. And I'm looking at this Choco Tacos. I'm like, I could make a killing selling these on the black market. The black market being the Taco Bell parking lot.
the black taco market, of course, the one that we've all heard about.
Yeah. And then I realized this company actually owns pretty much every Choco Taco, or not every Choco Taco, every Taco Bell in the area. And I'm like, shit.
now I've got this metal picture of Justin like dressed up like the merchant from Resident Evil, just standing out in the parking lot, welcome. And just
Except my jacket would be refrigerated. I would
absolutely.
prepare. I would prepare with the refrigerated
Justin's
jacket.
just walking
along
up to people in the
Expensive,
parking lot.
dude, the whole operation.
He's like wearing a trench coat and he's like, hey man, you want some Choco Tacos? I got like,
Got that good
with his
shit.
refrigerated fucking coat.
I can't remember the last time I had a Choco Taco.
They're not great. That's the thing.
No.
Like Choco Tacos are wildly
Everybody's
overrated.
walding out, and it's like, just get drumsticks, man. I don't know what to tell
Yeah,
you.
drumsticks.
Here's the thing, though.
It's like the
now
same thing.
retroactively, they're going to become the greatest.
It's a marketing stunt.
Greatest
Well,
thing.
there's got to
in the
be
world.
other companies that make like basically Choco Tacos, but with
They're gonna give it a different
fun
name.
Well, just like
Yeah.
There's
going to
be a Kirkland signature Choco Taco soon enough.
Get a fucking it's an ice cream cone. That's what a Choco Taco is. It's just a waffle.
You know what? Just Taco Bell should literally make one and just call it the Choco Lupa.
Well, see, the thing is, they used to have
definitely should.
the Choco
that's just
Taco
kind of
was an item for Taco Bell. It used to be sold there.
Fair enough.
Really?
Yeah, that's why it exists.
I thought it existed because that company made them.
No, they sold them at Taco Bell a long time ago. The Taco Bell hasn't had them in a while, but they
Is that real?
Bullshit.
I think you're making that up. I think you're
I
making that
trust Justin on Taco
I'm
Bell
not
lore.
gonna Google it. So.
Are you questioning me?
Yes.
Absolutely, but
All right, I'm looking it up. The origins of the Choco Taco.
All right, this'll
Invented
be
in
good.
Philly.
You need to be careful with
Exclude,
what
I was
websites
gonna
that takes
say,
you to.
Yeah,
exclude
don't-
Urban Dictionary, bud.
Yeah, don't.
It was created in Philadelphia, not Taco Bell.
Are you
and they
sure
were
it's
cre-
not
it was,
creative
it was,
Philadelphia?
Taco
it
Bell's
was
not
made
a
by
city.
Klondike.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so I thought Justin was like the Taco Bell lore master.
But, but it was sold at Taco Bell.
They might have sold.
Yeah, but so
something
is
similar.
Baja Blast, but they don't make fucking Baja Blast at Taco Bell.
You can't
John,
prove they don't.
It's literally a Taco Bell exclusive flavor.
Not anymore. It's not. It's in stores, baby.
Only
You can
for
go get it now.
Only for like
Is
6
it?
weeks in the summer. Only for
Look,
6
you know
weeks
what?
every summer.
You know what? It
Where
still
can
counts.
I get Baja Blast in a store?
You don't
I
know
have-
this, Derek?
I don't think you.
Baja
I don't
Blast.
think you can. They own
I
the
don't think
flavor,
you
don't
can.
they?
No, you can.
It sells out almost instantly when they.
But it's
Oh,
there.
really?
We've got it at work. We've got it at work, and our fucking Derek. I've got one sitting on my desk. I'll save it for you for when you come here.
I can just go to Taco Bell.
Just
It's
get
fine.
the hard Mountain Dew, and you can have an alcoholic Baja Blast,
What are you complaining about?
like an adult.
No, I just
This podcast is a fucking disaster.
Yeah, this has been a mess.
See,
This is why we love.
God, eventually, this shit just devolves into talking about food. Really, like,
Sure.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
Oh wait, you know what?
You
I
kinda
feel
need it to
very
live.
disingenuous that we have Gothon and we haven't given him the true SDG experience. John, let's talk about Final Fantasy VI for a second.
Yeah, so Final
How-
Fantasy VI.
this
Did
might
you
be the
see-
longest
Did
we've
you
gone
see
into
the
a
Final
podcast.
Fantasy VI Worlds Collide randomizer run at Games Done Quick this past couple weeks? That
I
was
don't-
pretty damn cool.
I don't fuck with Final Fantasy VI mods. I'm a purist.
Well, you know,
This
sometimes
might
you gotta,
be the
sometimes you gotta
longest we've
appreciate
gone.
So
the
condescending.
craft.
John, you modded the font of the pixel remaster.
Yeah, John, where's your purism now? You
Ooh, well, no,
fucking
he was
hypocrite?
trying to create the original experience.
Fonts are a
Exactly,
different
exactly.
thing. John has
I-
strong
fonts-
opinions on fonts.
Don't get me started on fucking fonts, dude.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I
Fuck
agree.
all
That
day.
font that they had on the Pixel remakes is
Oh,
like,
it's terrible.
Yeah, but he
yeah.
keeps
That's
he
an
keeps bringing up
horrifying
fonts
on
now with
God,
all
dude.
kinds of games. Like
It's a
we'll be
font
looking at a
on
trailer
God.
for a game and he'll be like, "That font is terrible," and it's like, Jesus, John.
Look,
John is laser focused on two things: fonts in Japanese RPGs and whether or not a remaster of a classic game has the Vaseline filter. Those are
that's
his
true.
the two things he notices.
It's available on Switch.
Yeah,
I gotta have it on Switch. I gotta have it on Switch.
I gotta
See-
have my pops.
See, if Goth is here though, it's not really Final Fantasy VI we need to be talking about. It's Chrono Trigger. We need to be talking about.
All right,
That's-
who's all right? Your top three, Goth. Who's your main party when you're taking down Lavos?
I mean, usually Frog, Chrono, and Marl.
See
Or
that's
Marley.
a classic.
Yeah.
I started mixing it up.
The Trinity
I'll,
right there.
I mean, like, I'll trade out Luca
gotta have
for,
Frog,
for
though, like-
Frog sometimes, but I mean, I
I mean,
have all
Marl's
the
your
characters
healer, you know.
maxed.
Like, yeah, obviously.
Why
Yeah.
the
just gotta-
fuck is that game? Why the fuck is that game not on modern consoles? What the fuck is happening there?
I don't know, man. There's so much
Because,
they could
John,
be doing with, but
You gotta wait 3 more years for the what would that be? The 30th anniversary?
No,
then
they're gonna HD 2D that shit. I know. It.
I would play an HD 2D. I would love that. For Chrono Trigger.
Still, we
I
got
think there's a
Derek's
lot of
stuff.
cool stuff they could do with Chrono Trigger, but I don't. Maybe Square just doesn't think it'll do well. I don't know. It breaks
is-
my heart though.
Yeah,
How'd the Chrono Cross
HD2D
remaster
remake
go?
of
Do we
Live
know if
Alive
that did
or-
all right?
Live Alive or whatever. Like, I
What
feel like
about-
Chrono Trigger would do better than that.
Did the Chrono Cross remaster do well? Like, did
Yeah.
it do okay?
No, wasn't it like a not great port, or am I?
Yeah, it ran
Well,
worse
yeah,
than
no,
the
I know
PS1
that. I'm
version.
just talking,
was not
talking
great.
like sales wise. Like, did it?
Yeah,
do,
no,
like,
Chrono Trigger would destroy. So that either they're completely ignoring it, or they're doing a Final Fantasy VII remake situation.
I think they're going to get a pixel, or not a pixel remaster. I think you're going to get an HD 2D remake. I honestly, I think that's probably next after Live Alive, considering that the team from Live Alive went on to make Chrono Trigger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, you know, I think it's a no-brainer. And imagine the fucking hype. And Live Alive is selling very well, which is a great thing. And so imagine the fucking hype if all of a sudden you get that swinging fucking pendulum clock during a Nintendo Direct, but it's in that nice crisp HD 2D, and then like you know you see lean square, and like I mean it
would look slick, man. It would look slick.
I'm hyping myself up here for something.
Yeah,
that
but not
How
before I get that
sad are
Dragon
you to
Quest
see
3
what
remake.
they did to the Mana series, though? It's now like totally shift there. Like
it's a mobile game now.
it's a mobile game now. All I want is Secret of Evermore 2, though, dude. Like,
yes, thank you. Fucking finally, somebody with some Secret of Evermore fucking respect.
it's so
finally
good.
it's
You know
better
what?
than Secret of Mana.
Give me
I'll agree with
Illusion
that,
of Gaia too.
No. We're on Secret of Evermore now. Secret of Evermore is better than Secret of Mana, and I will fucking fist fight anyone in a dark alley.
I
disagrees
unfortunately
with
will lose that fight too, but I will
Yeah,
still
you will.
fight you for it because I disagree vehemently on that. Evermore, it's okay. to
Evermore
me.
has one of the best fucking
John,
soundtracks of the
there's-
Super
there's
Nintendo.
gonna
it's
be
so
6
good.
other
But I mean,
of
like
us.
Mana has a banger soundtrack as well.
It does, but
That remake of Secret of Mana,
it was
rough.
garbage.
It was bad.
Oh,
yeah.
so
Garbage.
bad,
The
dude.
Trials of Mana remake was a lot better.
Okay.
Like from a quality perspective, that
Yeah.
was a lot better. Now I will say that
Voice acting could have been better, but
well, because you had that one girl, Charlotte, who speaks
Yes.
in uwu speak the entire game, and
mean with the uwu voice?
no,
Stop
dude,
it.
the entire fucking game, Derek. I'm not kidding,
why?
Derek, the entire fucking game. But no, Goth, did you play the Trials of Mana and the Collection of Mana when that came over finally from Japan?
No, I didn't. No.
Dude, you're missing out. That game, it's the best Mana game. It's better than Secret
Okay.
of Mana. It's better than Secret of Evermore. Trials of Mana is fucking awesome.
I'm getting kind of overloaded by old JRPGs getting remastered. Like this is brutal
I'm
on
not.
my
I'm
time,
not.
man. Because we got what?
Tactics
we got Front
Reborn,
Mission,
baby.
Nah.
we got Tactics Ogre, we got
Tactics Ogre's
FFT.
coming.
We know FFT is coming.
I feel bad for Square right now because Tactics Ogre, like we learned, it leaked today that it's gone gold. Like Square
And it
cannot catch
hasn't
a
been
fucking,
announced yet,
Yeah, it
has
hasn't even been announced yet, and Square cannot catch a fucking break with this
Well,
game.
they should
dude.
fucking
Like,
announce these things. Like
maybe.
Well, you know what? To be fair,
The
they've
game's-
they've cut flack so long for announcing things way too early. So now they're trying to cut that down
Yeah.
a little more. And even when they do it the right way, they still get their lunch stolen.
all
like-
Square's got to do to make me happy this year is just put the fucking pixel remasters on consoles. I don't
They're-
care.
Do you think they're going to?
Yeah, I do. But
I do. Just when, though.
100%. It's just a matter of when. So, but I just
Piecemeal
fucking
digital
want them.
together as either one or two collections.
No, what they're going to do is they're going to drop them piecemeal digitally, just like they did on PC. That's what
Mhm.
they're going to do.
I fully believe that at least Play Asia will get an English language Asian release of all of them. Like that's what they've done with all their other digital only titles.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wonder how they're going to price that shit. But at any rate,
highly.
Derek, we got any other topics we want to get into tonight? What else?
I mean,
What else is on the docket?
I think we got it.
Are we tapped out? Are we
I think we
tapped
nailed
out?
How cool Finn is.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that.
Oh, all right. Worth a
All
shot.
right, well, we got five minutes left. We can go ahead and start wrapping up. Yeah, Derek.
Let's
Yeah,
do the
sure.
let's let Goth sign it off. Is there anything you want to talk about that we haven't brought up?
Oh no, we hit all the topics, man. I've been sleepy and high for like the last 10 minutes. 'cause
Hell
it took my
yeah.
Xiaomi
Solid.
before we got started, and it hit
Ooh.
me. Yeah,
Man,
yeah.
I gotta bring a packet of that to the
I wish.
the charity hangout
You wish?
in
Is it
October.
not, you're not
No.
even. Are you
he cannot.
medicinal
Why?
there, or oh yeah, because you can't.
His job will not allow it.
Yeah.
Like really hardcore. So
that's unfortunate.
So that would not be great for me.
You're just gonna watch me and Britt and other people drop gummies for the charity thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking great.
Yeah, second time.
I would like to thank our stuff chat tonight. Thank you for being so cool, everyone. We really were.
I don't even think mods had to worry at all about like.
No, not a thing.
It was great.
No, I mean, like even if I would have
good
been
ass
online
community
and then rated and host, and it was like a few thousand people, like it would have been
good ass
chill.
community.
Yeah. We've really curated, and I think most of the trolls that I had when I left Twitch aged out of being trolls, so I haven't accumulated new ones yet. It's pretty nice.
I mean, if you ever wanted to raid with a few thousand people, I'm not going to tell you couldn't.
I'd have to be on this late, and I'm usually at this time putting Brad to bed. Yeah.
So I do want to point out for everybody in chat, we do have a Discord with almost 400 people. So if you want to, there's a link right there in the chat. Now Brit's in chat. Oh, what I miss. If you want to hop on our Discord, we would love to have you there. We're trying to get to 500 people by the end of the year. So if you want to help us get there, that would be fantastic. Want to thank everybody in chat for being so cool. Go ahead and drop us some feedback right there. Give us a follow right here on Twitch. We would really appreciate that as well. And you can also follow us on Twitter at official SDGC. We go live every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As far as stuff coming up, we've got a live review going up tomorrow. Derek, I need to drop my portion of the review in the folder.
It might be going up. Yeah, I think it's going up. I can get it up tomorrow.
It's tomorrow or Saturday. Our live review is going up.
We still doing phrasing? Anyway.
Yeah, whatever. So be on the lookout for that. I would ask Goth where you can find him, but everybody here fucking knows where to find him. So I'm not gonna do that.
But we have a sizable podcast listening audience. So for the listeners and not the viewers, where can they find you?
Sure. You can find me at twitch.tv/Gothalion or King Gothalion. I don't know. It's one of the two. And then Gothalion on Twitter. That was good enough. Yeah.
No, that's great. That's fantastic.
That's great.
That's fantastic. Dude, thank you so much for putting up with us tonight, man. I really appreciate you being
it's been
here.
involved, man. I was chilling.
Yeah.
Awesome. Fucking outstanding. Do any of you jokers got anything else before we get out of here?
No. I just want to praise Goth on his seamless transition skills from topic to topic. He really saved the day tonight.
Yeah, man. Thanks for keeping us in line. Seriously. Like that was
you're
great.
welcome, dude.
It's embarrassing when our guests have to run the show, but you know what? It's like it's really nice that we were there to do it. Because
I'm not gonna lie. For a split second, I thought Finn was gonna say, "I'd like to praise God," and I was like, "Why? Like, what?
Why would you praise him?
When you're part of such a cool crew, sometimes you just have to just give thanks where they're due, I guess.
You know who else had a cool crew?
All right, everyone. Don't forget, give us a follow here. Hop in our Discord. Say hi. We're super wholesome and cool. We got a lot of channels you can hang out in.
We're okay.
And until next time, remember that kindness costs nothing. We'll see you next week.